Everyone has a bright light inside of them that deserves to be seen by the world. That's why it's time to shine the light on the extraordinary who are accomplishing phenomenal things. This is the Shine Out Loud Show with Lillian Obogo.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever in the world you are, and welcome to another episode of the Shine Out Loud Show with me, Lillian Obogo. Tonight, we have a woman that helps women on their big day, choosing that spectacular outfit to walk down the aisle. I'm talking about Jessica Akua, the founder and creator of the Things I Adore Bridal, and we're talking to this multifaceted young woman about her business and building a business in between. So join me and welcome Jessica. Hi, Jessica.
Hi, guys. Hi. Well, I'm really happy to be here.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. I'm good. Just enjoying this non-spring day, but hey, we'll take what we get.
Just got to stand in the sunlight.
Exactly. So, we're talking about today we're going to be focusing on, your business and how you came to it, and the fact that someone who is quite young has had two successful businesses, has built and is continuing doing all of this while balancing the joys of motherhood and everything else. So I think the first question is, what led you into entrepreneurship at such an early age?
Well, it's always been part of my blood. So from when I was 16, I've always had a side hustle.
Okay.
To be very honest. So when I was 18, I was doing micro rings, I was selling hair. I was always doing something, but it's when I became pregnant when it was just like a big alarm clock, like, oh my God, I cannot do a 9 to 5 and be a mum at the same time. And it dawned on me, like, what am I going to do? I like to do so many different things, but one thing which stood really clear was that I love fashion. So all the jobs that I've done, it's got to do around that. It's something I'm really good at. I've got a very good eye for fashion, very keen towards it. And I wanted to offer something that wasn't on the high street. So I didn't want to do normal clothes. I wanted to do bespoke. And then I looked at some of the books that I had when I was a child, and it said bridal. So I just put two together and I just went for it. I didn't have any experience in the bridal, but I felt very confident with it. And I just went with it. I started planning while I was pregnant, and a month after my daughter was born, that's when I actually registered the business. But it was definitely her that gave me that push to actually do it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And we're talking about that, and that's actually quite empowering, because I found a lot of moms who have been on the show who are also mom and business owner that wants their children were the catalyst for them starting their business or their side hustle, which has now become their business.
Yeah, definitely.
And one of the things is that you also owned another business that you started with a business partner.
I do, yeah. So I actually started a cleaning business, and right now what we do is I still get the leads, but I actually sell them to other companies. So we did start together. So all the business that I've had, I've very much done it on my own. Right. This time around, I had done it with a partner, and I was like, oh God, this is what it feels like to have a partner. You're not doing all the work. It's, it's 50-50. But my bridal business just started to just go into another loop, which was amazing for me, but I just can't do too many things at the same time. So I still do it. So I still do the operational services, but my key focus is obviously bridal, because that's where I started. But the person that I work with, they're very confident in doing their part as well. So we just get the leads and we just sell them on. They also do something else as well. So we're trying to obviously do multiple things and still keep our core businesses intact.
Okay, so that's actually important when you know what you're good at and understand your core business, and then know what you need to do to maintain it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's amazing when you can do different things. I know it's sort of frowned upon that you should stick to one thing, and it's like, we don't live in one big box. Like, you can do million of things. Like I do a lot of things. Like, my mum's like, you need to slow down. Like, sometimes I'm just like, I get so excited I can't stop. So even like now, I sell online. I sell wedding decor, which I just started.
Right.
My main platform is on eBay, And the way that like sort of just went forward, it kind of shocked me. And it's just like, don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do. You just don't know what the future holds. So I would say go for it. If you fail, you fail. You start again. It's just the way it is.
Exactly. So let's talk about the bridal, because this is actually quite important.
Yeah.
You registered the business a month after your baby was born. How did you go from idea to first bridal collection?
I don't know. It felt like a dream. I just went for it. I think my daughter really gave me the confidence that I needed, because it just wasn't until her that I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And it's not like I knew how to do it. I just thought, okay, these are dresses that I need. This is what I need to showcase. This is what I'm going to do. And that's exactly how I done it. I think if you have an idea, if you have step to step and tick it off, you're definitely going to achieve it. Because even in business, there's no like ABC. You can go from A all the way to G. As long as it gets done, it gets done. So that is definitely my advice. When I started bridal, I didn't even go into a bridal store to go and look what other people had done. I just went for it.
Okay.
And everyone's like, that's really weird that you've done that. But I did that so that if I went to a bridal store, I think I would have got frightened.
Right. I understand.
And stuck with my gut, whereas I knew I could do it. And I just went for it.
Okay.
And so there wasn't a step for me. It's just sort of thing where I definitely knew what I wanted and I just worked towards that. So if you have a clear goal in mind, you can definitely work towards that. But don't let someone tell you that this is how it's meant to go. It's not the way. Business just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. I wish there was a map like could tell you how to get your money, but it just doesn't work like that.
Well, this is true, but there's still some steps that you've had to take in terms of you have the concept on paper of these are the dresses you want to create. Did you buy them bespoke? Did you buy them off the rack to resell? Did you make your own?
No. So all the dresses that we make, they're actually bespoke. So they're all tailor-made. There's nothing that we've bought out or we copy. And because my main service is actually bespoke, I do have when I started, I only had 5 dresses,
right?
And they were quite plain dresses. So I don't like to say it was a collection. It was just literally to give people an idea of what I can do. But most of the brides that do come to me, they actually have their own ideas. I actually call them designers because they tell me what to do. I just put them all together. So for example, you have a bride that likes 5 different dresses. I take the elements of what she likes in each dress and make it into one.
Right. Okay.
So that's definitely what we do. So when I did my collection, it wasn't a thing where I was trying to be like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a catwalk. My idea was to focus on the bride, that I want their dreams to come true, not mine. If that makes any sense.
Right. Yeah, it does. It makes perfect sense because it's about them and, the big day, and they've probably been planning that dress, that idea since they were 2.
Yeah.
So you're actually, standing and holding that vision for them.
Yeah, and I think what they're finding hard is that when you do go into traditional wedding stores, that all the dresses maybe look the same. You just can't find what you're looking for. So bespoke is definitely the way forward when you have your own idea and your own dreams, and it can get made. So yeah, definitely. I definitely love helping my brides. It's definitely a dream come true, and it's so satisfying to be a part of someone's day and to make someone that happy. So yeah, I sound really cheesy.
You know what cheesy is, that as cheesy does. If this is what you do for your clients, this is what you do for your clients. So, let's talk about this. You were inspired to create a bridal fashion because you looked up and said, I'm having a baby. What do I want to do? And then you narrowed in on bridal fashion. Yeah. And there seem to be more and more independent bridal dress creators.
Now more than ever, it's definitely a big thing now.
Exactly.
Traditional wedding stores are definitely something that no one's even looking at anymore. I think one day it would be a thing of the past because people like their own style.
Exactly.
And it's just the way it is.
So in the realms of independent bridal fashion creators, who out there currently inspires you and you think, yeah, I would want to collaborate on something with them, or, who are your biggest inspirations right now?
Well, I definitely love, I can't pronounce her name,
Okay.
so I don't want to offend, but it's her brand is Oku. I can never pronounce anyone's name, so I apologize. But she's definitely someone that I definitely look up to, and she's very young as well.
Mm-hmm.
So she's definitely, and you know what is so funny? When I started to go into bridal, she actually had a studio in 639, which is my first studio that I had, and we had the same room.
Oh.
And it was like, oh my gosh, she had the same room as me. And it's like, okay, so she done it. So definitely I can do it. And that definitely gave me the push that I needed to do. Like I needed to go for it. So I thought that was definitely a sign. And people would often be like, oh, this magic, you're in the same room as her. You're definitely going to do well and things like that. But she's on a different level than me. And it's definitely somewhere that I want to be in the future. Definitely.
Okay, so what about people like Casiba Brides and Clarissa Gill out there who they've been making some really beautiful bridal fashions for many, many years?
Yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. I don't think that I could say I like one individual thing because I think fashion is everywhere. So when I see a piece, I appreciate everything of it, if that makes sense, and I just see the beauty of it. Creating a garment isn't sort of thing where you just imagine it. It takes a lot of work. So when I'm looking at something, I definitely see the craftsmanship and the work that it takes to actually do something different, because it's very easy to create one dress and then use a production line to make 5,000 of them and distribute them to 1,000 stores. Whereas when you're making one-off pieces, you treat it like it's your child. And then you send it off into the world. So I definitely think there's a lot of thought and care taken into making individual pieces, and the designers that do them, they're amazing. And I can tell you that from my experience, when I'm doing it, I take so much care in what I'm doing. I'm just like overseeing a lot of things, making sure that things are correct, and it's just so much love in making the dress.
Okay. All right, that's absolutely amazing because, like you said, it's bespoke to them, and you are crafting a vision and a dream for them. So this is my question. Do you ever have, with the now the new don't tell the bride type shows, do you have any male customers coming in wanting to purchase a dress for his bride to be? And if you do, how do you educate them on how to choose the right dress?
I haven't had that scenario, but I've had groom to be, sorry, come in and be very precise, like this is what the bride needs and this is what they want. So more in charge,
right?
And I just go with it. If the bride is sitting there, she must be fine with it. So I don't even try to get involved in the situation. I just go with it. There's some men that are very they care a lot about what their brides are going to have. And I've actually had, for one instance, I had a customer that he contacted me first, and he was actually in the group. We were in a WhatsApp group, and he was very much, this is what she likes and this is what she likes. But when we started to get into the detail, he sort of disappeared from the group. So I don't think a groom wants to know every single thing, but they are very open to what they like. They want to see their bride looking the way they envision. So they do bring their ideas on the table and hope that it is taken on board.
I like the way you say hope is taken on board, because
hope.
You're like, the bride is like, that's nice, but, well,
It might not, because I had a bride that she's actually my friend, so I'm really happy to be doing her dress as well. So her husband's like, I really need a mermaid, I want a mermaid, I want a mermaid. He said that for like 1,000 times. I said, okay, great. So we've gone and we're doing our drawings or whatever. She's like, maybe a ball gown. I'm like, yeah, maybe. So it could definitely change. So it's open, definitely.
Okay. And I guess that's always, it's part of the creation process. So speaking of things that are on TV and things like that, we've all seen Say Yes to the Dress. Is choosing a bride's dress really like that, or is just an over exaggeration for TV?
I think it mirrors it definitely. I don't obviously some things are hyped up full TV, so everyone remember you are watching TV. It's meant to be entertaining, but it is like that. So brides come in and they don't know what they're looking for, or you tell them to try this on and they're like, no, I don't want to try it on. And with me, my advice is to everyone, if you are getting married, make sure that you eliminate every single style that you do not like. Try on every single thing, even if it's ugly. Try it on so you can eliminate it and decide exactly that this is what I want. I have so many brides that have had, so for example, I've done renewals, and their first wedding, they're like, you know what, I didn't really know what I want, but I went with what I thought I wanted. Then when it was my big day, I was really disappointed that I didn't really go out my box and try every single thing. Right. And definitely you do know your key styles. I'm not saying run away from your key style, but definitely try on every single thing. You'd be really shocked. For example, I thought I looked good in a mermaid, and I don't. But when I'm wearing my normal dresses, which is like a summer dress or a going out dress, it would be mermaid, and it looks good on me. But in bridal, it looks really weird, and I never would have thought that. What looks good on me is A-line, and I'm really shocked. So definitely stay open and definitely try on every single style that you possibly can.
Okay, so how do you help a bride navigate family, bridal party when choosing her dress, so that really and truthfully what comes out is her voice, her true idea, not mom or mother-in-law to be or chief bridesmaid or sister? How do you get her to narrow down what her vision is?
Well, firstly, I try not to allow them to invite too many people to the actual appointment.
Okay.
Or if they do invite people, I make sure that the second one is by ourselves, or we're having a conversation by ourselves. I think as a bride, it's very overwhelming, and you want to please everyone. And I think when people are getting married, they feel like it's not just about them; it's about their families getting together. It's about everyone having a good time. So that overwhelming feeling can get into their head and not allow them to choose the dress that they actually want. So for me, when they are, in a big group, I always direct my questions to the bride.
Okay.
That's the only person that I care about. So everyone will say, oh, this is nice. I'm like, okay, what do you think? What do you like about this? And I always enforce the idea that their thoughts and feelings are the most important. And that's how you kind of get the balance in the room, that this is her day, this is what she wants. So I always say, whatever you want, you can have it. What do you want? Mm-hmm. And then they will tell me. But you do have people that obviously want to inflict their own vision, and it's not their day. You have your day. You just have to wait. So that's what I try. I definitely try to. And it's so upsetting to see as well, where people come and they're just taking over the whole appointment, and the bride is missing out on an experience that should be truly hers. You only, the idea is that you get married once.
Yes, that's it.
And you need to cherish all the moments and the journey. Picking your dress is the most important thing, and it's very upsetting when people try to upstage the bride and cause misery instead of laughter. So they're definitely very important when you come to Things I Adore. I definitely try to make sure that their voice is heard, and that's all that matters.
Okay, so what would you say has been one of your biggest challenges as a Black woman in the bridal industry, and your biggest lessons?
I think as a Black woman, I said this so recently. I just done business in Ghana, and it was amazing how much of myself I was. So everyone was Black, and I know that sounds weird, but everyone was Black, so I was more myself. I feel like when I'm doing business, especially in the industry that I'm in, it's mostly white people. And I feel like when I'm there, especially I was at you and your wedding, and I was probably like the fourth Black person in the whole room, and you feel like you're representing the whole world, and you feel like you have to behave and act a certain way, you have to laugh a certain way. And I want to be myself, and I'm not unprofessional or anything like that, but that weight of having everyone feel like you're the Black person that represents every single person in the whole world is so daunting that sometimes you don't even want to come out your shell.
Right.
if that makes sense. So when I was doing business in Ghana, I felt very comfortable, and I was like, what is this? I was like, oh my God, it's because I can see myself in everybody, and everyone is not, it's not based in the fact that I'm a black, I'm a black woman, or I'm just me, and I'm doing business.
Okay.
So they're just taking me for me. So that's definitely one of the struggles that I've had being in the bridal industry, especially, and one of them is my age as well. So I look a lot younger than, so people have told me, so I'm not trying to put it out there that I look younger and trying to make myself feel better, but people have told me I look a lot younger than my age. And I do find that when people come to visit me, they get really shocked that they're like, oh, so where's Jessica? And I'm like, well, I'm Jessica. And they're like, oh, okay. It's just you. And it's like, yeah, it's just me. And I was like, yeah. And they're really shocked. It takes them a while. You can actually see the process when they open the door and they see your face. I'm like, oh, they're expecting someone else. And people often tell me, you don't sound like a black woman. I'm like, what does sounding like a black woman even mean? I'm just sounding like myself. But people just I just sound like myself. But people get really thrown off when they see me. They're like, oh. And that's something that I've had to just get on with, really. And it's not even just in me doing business. It's in everything. Even when I go for interviews, I've had people go, oh, okay. Oh, didn't know it was you. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, okay, great. And that's probably one of the things I've had to learn, to just be confident and to just be myself, and to not let things weigh me down. That's probably one of my biggest lessons. Yeah, is to just really be myself. And it's taken me a while to feel this confident and to really love myself for who I am, and it reflects in my business.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is very timely that we start talking about self-love and that reflection of falling in love with the woman you see in the mirror, because you have started another venture which is motivating young women to step up in their lives, and you address a range of topics. Now, I see that self-love is actually very pivotal to you, but what made you actually decide to step out and actually say, I'm going to work with women in this way as well?
I was in not a terrible relationship, but I was in a long-term relationship, and I feel like it took a big toll on me. I can't really explain it in much detail, but I just wasn't me, and I was very unhappy, and it took me a while to step out of it. And especially when you have a baby, you don't feel like you as well. And I think for a while I felt like I was just Ava's mum. I wasn't me. I wasn't human. I was just there. I just wasn't myself. And I had to break out of that and be like, what do I like to do? Mm-hmm. I'm important. And what made it so clear is that she's watching me. I have to love myself so that she can also learn to love herself.
Yes.
I had to be bold, and I had to love me for me. When I was growing up, it's really hard to just appreciate who I am. I am a dark-skinned woman as well. Being dark-skinned in London at the time that I was in, it was terrible. It was horrible. I had a lot of teasing. My name's a Champon as well. My second name, I got a lot of abuse for that. It's taken me a while to really appreciate the person that I am. So I definitely try to encourage other people to definitely step out and not really care about what anyone else thinks but themselves. And I definitely have a louder voice, and I definitely try to promote it as much as possible, because life can be better and feel better when you start to love yourself and when you are number one. And even though my friend told me this as well, so she's actually married and she's in a relationship, and she says, I love myself more than I love my husband. And that's the advice that I've taken and literally ran with it, that I am really important. Even I'm not before my daughter as well, but I have to definitely take care of myself before I can take care of her.
And that's actually quite vital.
Yeah, it's very vital, but people are definitely bullied into thinking, oh my God, you think more about yourself than your child. But if I'm not able to
function, I can't take care of that child.
Yeah, how am I supposed to raise another human being, and she's supposed to follow me? And because Ava can see, like, when she started to get older, she started to notice a lot of things that made me really switch up a lot of things in my life, that allowed me to break out the relationship I was in. That allowed me to focus more on my business, that allowed me to change my circle. So the people that I'm around I take something from them, every single one of them. So we are definitely all using each other, but it's definitely, again, it benefits me in some way. And because of that, everything in my life has changed.
Right.
I surround myself with only the best, and that way I only receive the best. So it's definitely something that I promote. And yeah, there's nothing more I can say. I'm forcing it down, but self-love, guys, is definitely something that you really want to do. Loving yourself will definitely make your life 100% better.
I absolutely agree with everything that you've just said about self-love and having to put yourself first. And it's actually something we have to learn to do. It's not innate in us, especially for women, to put themselves before, let's say, children, partner. It's not innate, and especially even for more so for Black women. Now, we're talking self-love, and if you look on social media, if you look everywhere, there's always something pointing to love yourself, self-love. In your views, what's the one thing, aside from what you've just shared, that you can give to a young woman who is struggling to love the woman in the mirror?
What do you mean, like an actual, like a practice, or how to feel, or
one practical tip that a woman who is struggling to forget about loving the woman in the mirror, they're struggling to like the woman in the mirror.
Yeah.
What advice would you give them?
Okay, so one thing I like to do, people might laugh at it, but I like to get dressed up and go nowhere. Now, you might laugh at this, but when you feel your best, or look your best, you feel your best, and you behave like it's your best life, it's the one thing that I would definitely shove down everyone's throat. And the person that taught me this was my friend Sharona, and like even to this day we still dress up and go nowhere, and we have the best time. And every time I just feel my best, I feel so overwhelmed and so happy, and I start to feel grateful.
Mm-hmm.
It's a process. So I get dressed, I'm like, oh God, my life isn't that bad. I have this, I have that. I start to list all the good things, because it's so easy to be so negative. It's so easy. It's unreal. It's so easy to look at everything and be like, I don't have this and I don't have that. And there's one thing we have to do is change our mindset. So I've always said some things that I said, I don't want this and I don't want that, but that's exactly what I've got. Whereas I should have been saying, I want this life and I want that life. We have to change the way that we think and we speak about certain things. That's the only way that we're going to change.
And this is true. It becomes a mindset state. You touched in it very briefly, where you talked about gratitude, because the more we find things to be grateful for, the more things we'll be grateful for, and the more it creates a gratitude circle. And being in that space of going, well, you know what, it's not that bad. You start changing the language, because the more you use certain language, the more you create those scenarios in your life.
Definitely. I definitely agree with that. It's very important. How we speak is just, and my mum's always telling me off. I always say, oh, I hope this. She's like, no, you're not going to say that. It will. Everything is so important, how we speak it out loud. It goes into the air, and it's like it transforms itself into real life. We have to start speaking positive things only. And I'm not saying that sometimes, you feel sad and you're not allowed to feel sad. You are. You're just not allowed to live in the moment.
Yes, you're not allowed to live in a sad place for long.
Yeah, you're allowed to acknowledge it. I feel sad because of this and that. But what can I do to make myself feel better? What can I, you have a goal. What can I do instead of feeling sorry for myself? Can I go for a walk? Can I do this? Can I do that? Do anything but feel sorry for yourself, because there's someone worse off. And you're not dead. So it's not the end. So you can keep going and going and going.
Yes. Absolutely agree. Now, you're juggling quite a few things. You have clients that you're taking care of, not just, fitting them for a dress. It's in a whole emotional process. You have a tiny person that you're bringing up.
Yeah, little human.
Exactly. How do you balance motherhood, your personal relationships, and your businesses?
Well, my daughter's involved in everything. That's how I'm able to balance it, is that she's just involved. Whether I like it or not. So I take her to work. And I have a very supportive family. So I am very lucky. I have an amazing mum, my uncles, my aunties, my cousins. They all definitely help me.
Yeah.
But I definitely involve her in it. I don't try to separate the two. Everyone knows I have a daughter. When I go to work and I'm doing someone's dress, she's there. They know she's there. They know exactly what I do. When I'm on the phone, she's there. It's definitely nothing that's not separate.
Right.
So how I balance it, that's just how it is. She's just involved. And the reason why I became self-employed, it was that I wanted to also be a mum. I didn't want to work the 9 to 5 and then look after someone at the end.
Right.
And she'd be sleeping as well, so we wouldn't even know each other. I'll be missing a lot of key points. So the whole idea of me being self-employed and juggling it was that I can be involved in her life. And sometimes my business takes me to places where I'm so busy that I don't have time for it, and the objective was that I could spend time with her. So sometimes I have to definitely slow my role down and understand the reason of why I started in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to just get lost in it and to get a bit overwhelmed with the work, especially when you've got bills to pay. And I have to definitely always step back and go, I started because of Ava. I need to spend a bit of time with her. I need to do this with her. I need to do that with her. So what I do, I make a list of all my priorities and I tick them off. If I haven't done, the list, the things at the bottom of the list, I do it for the next day. I'm only human. I can't do everything and I'm not perfect. So that's something that I've just had to definitely learn in business, that I can definitely balance things, but I can't do everything. So that's
Go ahead, sorry.
Go on, love. No, go on.
I was going to say that's a very powerful mindset to hold, where you give yourself room to be human and know that you can only do as much as you can do.
Yeah, definitely. It took a lot to understand that, and my mum definitely pushed that down, shoved it down my throat. I always say shoved down because it always has to be forced down me that you can't do everything. And she's like, don't take your time, don't worry about it, this will happen, you take care of it the next day, and that's what I've had to learn. That it's just, it's been, I'm not even talking too much about it because it's still sometimes a struggle to still be able to just step back and be like, okay, cool, I've done enough for today, let me stop. Especially when you enjoy what you do, you want to do it for hours and hours and hours, and I can't do that because I'm a parent. And that's something that I just have to definitely have to learn. Yeah.
Okay. And it's I think for everybody who is in business, who has family and other commitments, it's a learning curve that you have to master, and you just keep learning at different stages.
Yeah, and I think what's crazy is that obviously Ava doesn't stay the same. She's always changing. So I always feel like I'm learning every day, if that makes any sense. Like every day's a new day. Like we go through a different phase and she just started a new one. And I'm like, oh my God, I have to learn something new again. So I think as parents, we shouldn't be too hard on ourselves. We should definitely give ourselves room for error. And, lucky for me, my daughter definitely understands what I do. But I think she understands what I do because she sees me do it. I don't separate the life that we have. So when she sees that I'm working, she actually leaves me alone, or she wants to help.
Oh, that's cute.
And yeah, it's really amazing. Like Ava's the sweetest person ever. And there's some days when she knows that I've had enough, and she's like, "You're right," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm okay. It's been a bit tough." But she's definitely my best friend, and I think when she says things like, "Oh, this is going to be mine one day," and I'm like, I just tear up and be like, "Oh my God!" Like she definitely understands what I'm doing. And as parents, we should definitely involve our kids in everything that we do. They definitely learn a lot. They're little geniuses, so definitely.
Okay, I absolutely agree. Okay, so we've come to that part of the show where we talk about our So Loud moment of the week, which is a virtual clap or shout out to someone, a person, a thing, and it could be someone in our community, or it actually could be ourselves. So, Jessica, what is your So Loud moment of the week?
I miss my mom.
Aww.
I really do.
Oh.
That's the person that I really want to shout out to. So definitely. So my mom is always with me. She's actually my best friend, and I didn't realize how much I depend on her until she was actually gone. So that's one thing, guys. Anyone that's with you and you appreciate them, let them know right now. Don't let it be a thing where they have to disappear until you actually notice how much they definitely mean to you. So yeah.
Oh, so mommy deserves a huge round of applause.
Yeah, she does. Definitely.
Yeah, she's out living her best life in Ghana, enjoying the sunshine, you know.
Definitely. We miss her so much. So we all went together and she decided to stay. And I was like, you know what? Enjoy yourself. But inside I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And, you know, I run her so much. And like, even I think the start of the year I started a course.
Okay.
So I do a lot of things. I started a course, sorry. It's in the evening. So it's about leadership.
Okay.
And I just not that I needed to. It's good to learn. I don't know everything, so that's one thing. I wanted to be a better leader than I am, and I wanted to learn different skills. The business is growing, and I have to sort of like discipline myself and give instruction to other people, and I want to do it in a manner where it's productive.
Yes.
So that's definitely something that I had to learn. And I realised when my mum was in Ghana, I was like, oh my God, who's going to look after Ava so I can go to school? And, you know, yeah, so that's just one of the things. So definitely appreciate the people that are helping you.
Okay. So, Jessica, we've had a question come in for you from Norman.
Oh.
And he wants to know, what lessons from parenting have you actually applied in your business?
From parenting?
Yes.
Well, I'm quite strict with the brides, if that's something. So I tell it's not really selling it in it, but I am. You know, I'm very much, this is the deadline, this is what we have to do. So definitely that's given me the confidence to be a bit more, you know, strict with them. This is the deadline, this is what we have to do. They definitely come into the shop and think that the dresses get made in 5 minutes. So we have to tell them that this is the plan, this is what we have to do. So that's something that I think I've learned from parenting and applied to business.
Okay.
On top of my head. That's a question that I never thought anyone would answer.
Well, I mean, you know, if you look at parenting, you have this little person who's dependent on you that you've had to raise, and you know, the same way that you had to have a plan for Ava, you've had a plan for the business.
I guess the business is like raising a child, yeah. And I do love them, but I love my daughter more, so that's out there. But definitely, definitely.
Okay, so how do you make time to incorporate self-care for you?
Well, it's a bit hard, so I'd always try to have a bit of moment in my time for me. So Ava goes to nursery for 15 hours, which is the 3 hours. I refuse to pay any more. I think nursery fees are insane. It's like a second mortgage. And I just refuse to pay it. So I have to work around her. So she goes nursery for 3 hours a day. And most of the time she's with me. So you can if you work it out, we're together like all the time. There's not much I can do within that 3 hours. So what I do when she goes to bed, I try to definitely take a lot of time for myself. And I think one of the problems I was having was that I would go to bed and we go to bed at the same time, we wake up at the same time. And it's like, oh my God, so what about me? So I definitely, in the night time, is definitely my time to relax. So she's on holiday now, but usually she can be in bed by 7 a.m. I can have not a.m., p.m. I'm not that cruel, guys. p.m.
Throw her in bed all day.
Yeah, I take some time to myself. I'm a movie head. I love watching movies. I love series as well, but I try not to get involved in that because I'm the person that I watch a series and I won't sleep until I'm finished. Right. So I stick to movies and I just take time to just chill and have thoughts to myself. But I'm an only child, so I definitely do enjoy my own company. So it's nothing strange to me. Sometimes I like being silent in a room. And that's definitely something I had to learn since having a child that Ava loves to talk, and sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like I just want to hear the thoughts in my head. So definitely when I'm alone, that's something that I definitely like to do. But nighttime is definitely my time to do the things I love. And, you know, she goes away every other weekend, and I take time to just do all the things that I try to do all the things that I like to do. I try not to do work. I try to do hobbies.
Right.
So that, you know, when I'm talking, because I realized when I was talking to people, I'm always talking about work. And someone asked me, what would you like to do? And I said, right, you know, I don't know anymore. So I try to definitely take in time out to enjoy my hobbies or to find new hobbies that I can do so that I can enrich my life. So yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that's actually quite sensible, because sometimes we can get so wrapped up and we're doing this and we forget the other part of life. So
yeah, which is living. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So looking at your journey so far, what advice would you give your 18-year-old self?
Oh my God, I wish I could just go back. That's the real and take my knowledge. But what I would tell myself is to just relax and take time with everything. I think I rushed into a lot of things. Like, for example, I wanted to be married, I wanted to be settled, I wanted to do all of this. And I think, like, because I rushed, I fell into a lot of things that wasn't right for me. And what is for you will be for you. So I think I should have just taken my time with everything. And in terms of business, I think that I was definitely ready at the time. I was 18. I just didn't have the confidence. But I think what the problem we have with everyone is that we're all scared to fail. And we all fail.
Yes.
And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think that's the problem, is that we're just so scared to take the leap. But I failed 1,000 times and I haven't died. I've just had to pick myself up and start again. And starting again is okay. And I think that's something that we have to definitely educate everyone on, that it's okay to fail, just not to dwell in it, but to start again.
Yeah, and that's true. And and there's and again, there's something about letting it be okay to take your own time. The time you would use to recover is your time, as opposed to somebody else's recovery time might be shorter or longer, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I think we live in a time where everyone is showing their best life on media, on social media. So we just all feel the need to just get there really, really fast. But we don't know what they're doing, and nor should we care. We should just concentrate on how long it takes us, and that's it. You get there when you get there. But I definitely feel like the times that we live in, everyone's just rushing to get there really fast and to be rich or to be this, and we're just missing out on all the fundamental things of life, and we're not enjoying it at all.
Exactly. So let me ask you this: when you do take some time and carve out that time for yourself, what are you currently reading, or what was the last book you read?
Gosh, the last book. God, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't read that much. I'm not gonna lie, but I do. I'm not gonna lie, but the last book I read. That's a long time, Lillian. I don't even remember. I'm a film head, so the last film I watched was Don't Breathe.
Okay.
I should read. I have I don't know, I feel there's something definitely I'm trying to pick up. So I suffer from dyslexia. Not that it's a reason not to read, but it definitely, when I'm reading, it definitely discourages me, because it takes me a while to read, and some of the letters start to move when I'm reading.
Right. So
I get really frustrated. So I definitely try not to pick up a book. So that's one of the things I've kind of struggled with just for all my life, really. Yeah.
Oh, and that's fine, because for you it's a challenge, but even with that challenge, you've still set up your businesses and are doing so many things.
Yeah, but definitely I do. But I think that I think when I was in school, I'm not academic, and I grew up thinking, oh my God, I must be stupid. But I'm more of a doer. Right. I learn through my eyes, and that's definitely something that we need to put out there, that we're not all academic. We're not all going to read a book and get it. Some of us are doers with our eyes. We all have different abilities. So Don't let anyone tell you that you're this or you're that way. You're good at other things. You just have to find out what you're good at. And that's definitely one of those things. Yeah. So
exactly. And it's not right or wrong. It's just their different abilities, and yeah, makes the world interesting.
yeah, definitely, because there's a lot of things that I can do, and I haven't learnt it through reading. It's all by watching what people do, and I have a lot of skills. I know how to do acrylic nails.
Mm-hmm.
That's by watching. Everything's in beauty and fashion, by the way, guys. So there's not going to be anything like surgery, but micro rings and all the beauty things I've learned. But I've learned it by just watching.
Right.
It's insane. So it's okay, guys, if you can't read.
It's yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we'll just go with what Jessica said. As you said, different abilities. So, what's next for you? Tell us about your future projects.
Yeah, so right now the decor, so I sell wedding decor. It's really, really surprised me. I wasn't expecting it to get as big as it was, and it's just blown up. So that's definitely something that I'm definitely working on, and we're definitely trying to expand not only in the UK. So I've started to wholesale the pieces to Africa,
right.
And I never thought in a million years that I don't know that would be something that I would do. But while I was in Ghana, opportunity is opportunity. I just started to make connections and just made things possible. And Facebook is your friend, guys. So definitely for business, I've joined a lot of groups, and I don't spam people, but when people have questions, I always answer them. I try to become familiar in the group, so when I do post something that's involved in my business, people are very interested to know, and through that I've gained quite a few contacts.
That's powerful, because that's networking, and that's increasing your reach and being the person of authority.
Yeah.
And that's actually very important. I think, we talk about social media being, having an impact, sometimes not so great, but if you can use it for business, that is absolutely powerful.
Yeah, I say the internet is amazing. It's allowed me to meet so many different people, and I'm not I wouldn't call myself like a social media head. It's something that I still learn with, but it's so easy to connect with people, and you never know where it will take you. For example, I had a lady contact me a while back, something about the BBC, and I've made some friendships. So definitely the internet can be used for good.
Exactly. And speaking of the internet being used for good, we've had another question come in for you. So the question that came in is, would you want to be the one who designs your daughter's future wedding dress, or just be mother of the bride?
I think I want to be the mother of the bride.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that.
Because the way that we are, very like, even though that doesn't look good on you, like even like she's only 4, but for example, she likes to tuck her shirt in her skirt, and it really annoys me. But it's her style. She really likes it. So this is something that we're battling with. My mom's like, oh my God, just leave her alone. That's her own style. So it's something that I'm learning to do. Obviously, when you have your child, you imagine them in a certain way and how they would dress. It's something that I'm trying to let go. So I just want to be the mother of the bride.
Okay. All right. Yeah, sounds about fair, and especially because you are already in the industry. Yeah, I cannot imagine what that bridal dress fitting will be like. You'd be like,
It'll be a nightmare.
No.
It'll be a nightmare, especially when you know it all, or you think you know it all. You just, you want to enforce different, ideas and things like that. It's like it's like me if I was teaching her how to drive, that couldn't go about, would it? She has to get driving lessons. It's just no way, no. I think it'll be a nightmare.
So how can people connect with you and find out more about if they have their big bridal, they need a bridal dress? How can they find you?
Yeah, so I do have a Facebook page. So that's Things I Adore Bridal, PA. And I have an Instagram page as well, which is Things I Adore Bridal. And my personal page as well, which is Jessica _Akua. So that's where you can meet me and Ava. I still do showcase my business, and I give business tips as well. But more or less, you just get a bit more about me and my personality. As you can tell, I'm a bit wacky.
And you do have a website as well.
And I do have a website as well, guys. See, I think Lillian needs to be me, but yeah. You could definitely catch me in a lot of things. I sell on Etsy. There's definitely a lot of platforms that we sell on, but Lillian, how do you do it, Lillian? Would you list all the things that
we can put your links on the webpage and where they can find you. But folks, Jessica Akua is on Instagram. She is on Facebook. She has her own website. It's out there, and we will put the links.
Out there, yeah.
We'll
you can find me.
We will put the links on your webpage, post the show, and so people can connect and find you. And last question. What wedding dress type would you want to see outlawed and banned for life?
Oh, Lynn, I can't answer that. I'm going to say no comment. The reason why, guys, is because I get brides that just pick. Can you hear Ava, guys?
Hi, Ava. How you doing?
Thank you.
See, guys, I don't balance, she's just involved in everything. So she's been here the whole time. So like I said, she's really, really good.
Well, exactly. And she's been very patient. So now she wants your attention. So yes, you were saying about the dress type you would want to see banned.
Yeah, I can't say that, Lily. I can't. But I would ban all white dresses.
Ooh, all white dresses. Now this
ivory, guys. The white.
The white.
Yeah.
We may have to have an offline conversation about this.
Oh, do you like white dresses? No.
I have no skin in that game. I have no skin in that game. No. But we will talk about this offline. So, Jessica, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show today.
Oh, it was such a pleasure to be on. Thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And it wasn't too, it wasn't that bad.
It was absolutely perfect. It was not bad at all. It was absolutely perfect. So thank you for being a really, really enjoyable guest and sharing your journey with us. And we're looking forward to finding out more and more things that you are doing and hearing about how far you're going with your businesses.
Thank you. Definitely. I'll definitely share. I'll come back for an update. So I'll definitely come back if I'm welcomed.
Of course you are. Always welcome. So, folks, that's a wrap. Our incredible guest, Jessica Akua, has shared her journey with us. And we've even got to meet the ever fabulous Ava. So, join me same time, same place next week as we have another show. You know what to do. If you love the show, want to find out more, drop us a message, hit us up on Instagram, Twitter, or our Facebook page, or drop us an email at letstalk@shineoutloud.tv. We'll love to hear from you. So, this is me saying goodnight.
You've been listening to The Shine Out Loud Show. If you want to connect with us or let us know what you thought of today's show, be sure to follow us on Twitter @Shine Out Show.